Welcome, and thanks for joining us for this edition of Scope. Digicel PNG has completed the expansion of the 4G network in Papua New Guinea. CEO of the telecommunications company, Colin Stone, was happy to reveal this during the commemoration of the World Telecommunication and Information Society Day last month. However, Mr. Stone also shared the challenges of having a faster and uninterrupted connectivity, and that includes access to materials that challenge the country's censorship laws.
Currently covering 80% of Papua New Guinea's population, Digicel PNG recently completed the expansion of the 4G network in the country. Chief Executive Officer of Digicel PNG, Colin Stone, made this announcement at the World Telecommunication and Information Society Day event in May. Stone cautioned that access to high-speed internet and access to information comes with the responsibility of knowing and understanding the benefits and dangers of information and communication technology.
But when you give someone a 4G phone, it's like giving someone a race car to learn to drive. These are fast devices that can access speeds unseen by many people, especially across rural parts of Papua New Guinea. And that information comes with responsibility. And it's great to be able to have resources like Get Safe Off Online in local languages accessible to Papua New Guineans to be able to explain to them the dangers of online services, but also the benefits.
The 4G mobile network offers amazing speed and efficiency, with higher bandwidth that offers a much faster data transfer speed is an advantage, especially for mobile devices. The users of the 4G network are able to benefit from a superior network and uninterrupted connectivity for video calls and conferences. However, with faster internet speed and accessibility to information made easier, a number of challenges present themselves, censorship and information security being at the top of the list. Chief Censor from the Office of Censorship, Jim Abani, emphasized that with great digital transformation comes great responsibility of censorship. Abani reiterated the work of his department and its main concerns, such as the negative effects of global information sharing.
The government is now trying to embrace or enhance the communication, going down to connecting people down to the rural area where the bulk of the population live. And censorship as a mandated organization that monitors and regulates the information that comes into the country, either in any forms, whether it's publication, films, for that matter, or anything that is said about security or the concerns that have been raised by all aspects of that cyber. That's where our concern is all about. Our activities are centered just around where moral and Christian principles have to be upheld by our country. From this censorship perspective, we have to live with the transformation that is taking place in the global.
The chief censor said, the main challenge is making sure all key players, such as the telecommunications companies, concerned arms of government and individuals keep within the boundaries of the laws of censorship and uphold the relevant principles. On 17th May, Get Safe Online Pacific, a project of a United Kingdom-based organization, launched its Talk Piscine website at the NICTA headquarters. British High Commissioner to PNG, Keith Scott, said promoting internet safety in the most popular language of PNG's local languages is the most effective way of reaching as many Papua New Guineans as possible. The aim of the project is to raise awareness in Papua New Guinea of the risks and safety measures that will protect people from online security risks.
It's important to have a Papua New Guinean perspective on all this. You will know better, everyone in this room will know better what the particular challenges and threats are in Papua New Guinea and what particular aspects of the web-based information is most relevant for you. So it adapts to the local environment, and I think that then becomes sustainable going forward. And those threats, it's important to remember, the speakers have mentioned it already, they affect everyone, not just governments. In the news every day you hear about cyber attacks all around the world.
The website provides simple, helpful tips on a wide range of online security issues, from password protection to ensuring safe financial transactions in Talk Piscine. Together with Digicel's recently completed 4G network expansion, news of the Talk Piscine website reached over 2 million Papua New Guineans. 55% of Papua New Guinea's population now have access to Digicel's 4G network.
When we come back, leading aggregators sign with food agency to increase farming returns. Welcome back. The market for village farmers through the Fresh Produce Development Agency have signed an agreement with 8 leading aggregators to achieve sustainable increased returns to village farming households from market-oriented production. The aggregators include Agrotech, Jiwaka Organic Food Farmers Cooperative Society, Kale Fruits and Vegetables, JP Investments, Organic Farm Fresh, Park Supply, and Simbu Farmers Marketing Limited.
The market for village farmers is the government's project financed by International Fund for Agriculture Development and executed by the Department of Agriculture and Livestock and implemented by the Fresh Produce Development Agency. The main objective of the project is to achieve sustainable, increased returns to village farming households from market-oriented production. MWF and FPDA recently signed a partnership agreement with 8 lead aggregators to deliver tangible outcomes to the farmers. FPDA General Manager Mark Vorinu said the agreement is a milestone achievement and first of its kind for the project and its key implementing partners to pave way for implementation to begin.
The partnership established this arrangement, and for the first time, everyone was big breakthrough our industry, our fresh produce industry.
Mr. Vorinu added that FPDA has trusted the lead aggregators and have signed this agreement that will help the farmers during these challenging times. He strongly emphasized that year 2021 is an important year for the project implementation and urges all the lead aggregators and other stakeholders to work hard and deliver services to farming communities who will benefit from the intervention.
Now we already have one time this partnership, fulfilling dream vision from government by me. Now I think we must thank you to the government and on behalf of our liquid farmers and it seems to alone, no time no good, and we must want them money or hand of FPDA and then trust me people working this work. So we play at the FPDA, we play trusting from lead partners. Very, very important to learn about having this agenda of government and from lead partners.
He stressed that teamwork is critical to produce positive results.
When is the time that we can strengthen them, build the capacity, hold their hands and take them through the other challenging times? This is the time. What's the role of FPDA? What is the role of the project? And so that message in the background, we make sure that it has to be given the opportunity.
Project manager for market for village farmers, Robert Lutulele, said the project will provide support in terms of family farm training for 25,000 farming households in the target province.
So prior to this activity, we engaged business development service providers with consultants for about almost 3 months, 2.5 weeks, 2.5 months. And they worked with the farmers, studied them, they talked to them, they brought the farmers and the big partners together, they brought the discussions, the agreements on the way forward and how best they would like to see their business. So in fact, most of them haven't got any business development.
He pointed out that engagement of different stakeholders will strengthen the coordination and implementation of the project in the target provinces.
The project is trying to create some ways of how best we can be able to bring these farmers to help them transition from where they are to having savings account and training them to save constantly so that they can build up their equities in the future. If they want to get bigger loans, then it will be easy for them.
Mr. Lutulele also clarified that many farmers across the country lack financial literacy, and forging partnerships with stakeholders like the Bank of PNG is paramount. In doing so, FPDA has engaged CEFI to conduct financial inclusion activities to empower the target farmers to do farming as a business, ultimately improving their livelihoods.
50% free from the project and new fund, and they can find 50% either getting it from the bank through their savings or borrowing it from the one talks, going to production and selling and earning income. So those are the strategies that we're going to go forward. And while waiting for that, we are looking at options of looking at credit facilities that are available.
A financial consultant engaged by MVF project under the International Fund for Agriculture Development, or IFED, Sigitas Bubnis, during one of the workshops earlier this year, said banks should understand the farming culture in PNG and introduce loan requirements to farmers to acquire loan, as there was huge potential in agriculture. After visiting several banks in Goroka, Jiwaka and Mount Hagen, Mr. Bubnis said there was more reforming needed within the banking industry to make funding available to farmers. Meantime, Robinson Carles, representing the lead aggregators, thanked FPDA and the government for the assistance during these trying times.
The owners is up to us now. What they have to do, when it's a lot of making or make it finish now. Now, owners have started improving this system. Making them get come up to the money, and owners are making people must make it transparent. So that over the farmers from the temple or organ benefit. I want the good leader and staff, local country, government or what the institution of the press produce. Now people are leadership and staff and look seven or people of farmers finish.
Mr. Carles also challenged aggregators and the farmers to work extra hard and help themselves.
So people are going to look farmers from tomorrow is a good story. A legacy. It's a work where today people are standing on a big something. This has never happened in this country. All money talk, all members of politics of agriculture are our backbone. Where is the backbone? It's not working. But today, every day, Robert, come on. Thank you.
The 8 key aggregators include Agrotech, Jiwaka Organic Food Farmers Cooperative Society, Kale Fruits and Vegetables, JP Investments, Organic Farm Fresh, Park Supply, and Simbu Farmers Marketing Limited. The project covers 6 target provinces, including Western Islands, Jiwaka, Simbu, Eastern Islands, and Morobe for fresh produce partnerships, and East New Britain for Galip Nut partnerships.
A story about acceptance and dealing with sensitive issues as a family unit is illustrated in this gripping stage play. After the break, Andrew Kuliniyasi, the young man behind the production of He's Victor, shares his views about stigma and discrimination and the message he is trying to get across through his latest artwork. Welcome back to Scope. He is Victor, a story about a young journalist coming home to find that her cousin has mysteriously died. She aims to uncover the truth behind his death and why her family has been acting suspicious. The story brings one to tears in realization of how confronting certain biases are, that people feel it better to keep these hidden. Andrew Kuliniasi is a young professional artist in the world of theater, and he has brought this story to life in hopes that it educates and raises awareness to all. His cast and crew are all young volunteers themselves, and they have done well to tell this story.
Just tell him. Shut up, Tessa! Tell him what happened. Shut him up, Tessa! He killed himself. Victor killed himself. Why? He killed himself because of that. He wanted me to be a mom to him, and I couldn't be what he wanted, what he needed. And you, Alpha, look at me. He just wanted you to love him. Why didn't you love him, Alpha? He was your son.
He is Victor is a story that really pulls at the heartstrings of people that have shut the world out to keep their troubled secrets from ever surfacing. The young people of today are consumed by certain experiences because of the choices they have made, that it often leads to being unable to gain medication or counseling, or even worse, being placed in layout to be mourned over by family, confused about how your life ended so abruptly.
Everybody needs to find their costume.
Andrew Kuliniasi is an amazing young director who has done well to raise awareness where he feels society and people need to be more educated in. Areas that are too sensitive or controversial but needs to be talked about at some point.
He is Victor is a stage play that follows the story of a young up-and-coming journalist who is trying to figure out what happened to her brother Victor. And so Victor dies mysteriously and nobody is telling her what happened to him. She finds his journals or his diaries in his room, and it just all starts to explode.
And this is all I have left of him.
She finds out a bunch of things that his family didn't know or his family knew and are keeping secrets. We as Papua New Guineans as a whole have to learn how to deal with issues that are controversial. In terms of attitudes towards stigma, especially when it comes to diseases such as HIV, also with diseases such as tuberculosis, people have a lot of misconceptions when it comes to those two diseases and the communities that it affects. And so I feel that we don't have enough conversations about those diseases, and we just don't have enough conversations as people in a family unit.
Silence in any setting is powerful. Nobody can read you this way. That is what makes you dangerous. No one knows what you've planned or are thinking, making you incredibly unpredictable. But it is also a worrying factor when you have something to hide, something that keeps you from reaching out to people in case you end up in the hospital or even worse, the mortuary.
For me personally, when writing He is Victor, I was caught by the alarming number of TB cases in the country, and then, of course, the alarming number of HIV cases we have in the country. And those are two sort of unsung pandemics. We're in a time of COVID where everyone understands the word pandemic, and the situation of like TB and HIV in the country is as dire as it is with COVID. And so in raising awareness about these different issues, I think that I took it personally when I myself had tuberculosis at one point, and just know that there's so many misconceptions about tuberculosis. Because I work at an NGO, when I was introduced to sort of like awareness on HIV and learning the different communities that HIV affects, and also just like learning that there's so much shaming that happens to people that have HIV or contract HIV, there's this ongoing stigma, and it's about educating people the importance of getting a cough checked and also the importance of understanding somebody else.
Victor, get here. Come over here. Yes, sir. Sit down. Sit down. What's this? I know, I gotta look through. These other ones, what are they for? Don't lie to me, Victor! What are these drugs for? Tell me what the drugs are for, Victor!
This scene is when the father realizes the truth of Victor's secret and the medication he has been taking. The frustration, anger, and shame in his display of reactions is saddening as it is true, because this is what some or most young adults have had to face.
I have HIV. How did you get it?
Stop it!
I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to my son! How did you get it?
I told you to be careful!
What?
It takes courage individually and as a group to advocate or be the voice of those constrained by the demons of society's scrutiny into one's life. But when you have courageous people like the cast and crew of this production bring to you face front of what truly occurs behind closed doors, allows you to feel obligated to have a change of mind and eventually a change of heart on how to perceive the circumstances the afflicted faction have had to face for far too long.
Dare you bring this abomination into my house? Dad, why do you call me filthy? Why? Is it because I have HIV or is it because I'm gay? Good, get away from me!
I feel that people coming to the show, my hope as the writer is that people are confronted with their own biases. I haven't held any punches when it comes to talking about HIV or talking about the communities that it affects, like sex workers or the LGBTQ community. And that can be confronting for people. But what is art if it isn't confronting? What is art if you don't tell the truth? And my hope is that I can tell the truth and have people just listen. And whether they accept what I'm saying or can check and balance is up to them. The story that I'm trying to tell in terms of raising awareness is to make sure that people understand these diseases more, and people understand that people living with HIV are just like you and just like me, and that people living with tuberculosis can, just even small things. People don't realize that after 2 weeks of taking TB medication, you can't pass it to somebody else. But they treat you like you're contaminated. And it's like, yeah. And so I feel that it will raise good awareness, but it will also confront some real strong biases that we have in our community. It'll confront things that we're afraid to talk about as family, because it's a family show.
This is one of the first shows here at the Moresby Arts Theatre that's had 100% Papua New Guinean cast. They have all been hard at rehearsal since January this year, despite setbacks from COVID. The determination to get a great message across has been nothing short of amazing. Since Andrew's first production in 2015, May Soga, this was a traditional story, so everyone knew what they were getting into. He is Victor is a contemporary PNG tragedy, and it deals with issues that we are still dealing with now. Issues that people don't want to talk about and therefore become aggressive in their defense. Quoting off an article published in February this year, He is Victor is an attempt to capture a moment in time in modern PNG society where HIV, TB, and discrimination are issues families have to contend with. It is a compelling story, but one that is at its core a show about family and how we as Papua New Guineans must learn to deal with the different controversial issues that are causing misconceptions and stigma and eventually broken families and homes.
I was angry and I don't want to be the villain in all of this. I just want everyone to know I'm sorry. I want my son back. All of him. I want him here. I want him alive. I just want the chance to know him again and accept him and let him know that I care about him. I'm sorry I couldn't love him in the moment that he needed to be loved.
That ends another episode of Scope, a kind reminder to apply simple measures to prevent the transmission of the coronavirus. Regularly wash your hands with soap and water, cough or sneeze into your elbow, and exercise social distancing. If you are feeling sick, please stay at home. You can also call the COVID-19 hotline number for more information or assistance.